Hey, what's going on, Dragon Ballers? Welcome back to another Set 5 deck profile. This time we're going to be showcasing the blue Wish Gohan leader. I like to call him Wish Han. So the Wish Han leader coming out of Set 5, he is another leader revolving around Shenron and a Wish mechanic, but you'll notice if you take a quick look at the deck profile, we're not really going to be focusing too much on abusing his Wish, his like big bad wish, so to speak, with his removing 7 Dragon Balls from the drop area. This deck is going to be focused more around dropping the Beyond Darkest Demigra, which every single Wish leader is really good at dropping because of the set of 7 Dragon Balls being your Dark Overwhelm 7 perfectly, and the whole goal of those decks is basically to get the Dragon Balls to the drop area. The Wish Gohan, I think his remove 7 Dragon Balls effect is very good, especially paired with multiple Calls of Justice. I chose to go a different route with building the deck because no one can really deny how powerful Beyond Darkest Demigra really is, and the build would be completely different if it was focusing on that remove 7 Dragon Balls to restand himself and gain critical and untap 3. It would revolve around playing as many Call of Justice as possible and giving him a triple strike with the Wish Granter. That build kind of loses to a Nimbus, so I kind of wanted to focus the deck more around something like this. So the Wish Han leader, as I like to call him. So on the unwished side, when this card attacks, doesn't have to be a leader, which is really awesome. When this card attacks, it gains 5k power for duration of the turn, and then choose 1 Dragon Ball from your life or deck and add it to your hand. So you get to look through your hand and life, your deck and life in the same turn. The fact that it gains a 5k bump is really solid. So this is one of the things that this leader has over something like the Shenron leaders, because when you're playing against something like Storm, this leader can actually go toe-to-toe with Storm and kind of punch the Gotens after they get dropped, where Shenron unfortunately can't do that. So once you have your 7 Dragon Balls in graveyard, which we play a couple cards in the deck to help get those things to the drop area faster, you can flip over to become the Righteous Heart Son Gohan. So activate main, choose 1, draw 1 card. You can activate a Desire card in your hand if you have the appropriate number of energy to do so, and activate it for free without paying its energy cost, which the only one in the deck you'll see is World Peace. And his last one, you can remove 7 Dragon Balls in the drop area. You can choose up 3 of energy, switch them to active mode, and this card gains 15k and critical for duration of the turn. We're not ultra concerned with that Wish ability. It can potentially come into play, but the majority of this deck is going to be revolving around dropping the Beyond Darkest Demigra coupled with our other ginormous bomb cards. So main deck, we got 7 Dragon Balls. I talked about in the Shenron deck profile. Check that out if you haven't seen it yet. I talk about why I just play the 7 Dragon Balls as opposed to any of the other ones. This one works perfectly fine, especially in this deck. For World Peace, it's the best Desire card I found to play in this particular deck. We aren't usually going to be resolving desires until we're around 4 or 5 energy anyway, and the main purpose you want to do that to is to reborn an untapping play after you drop Beyond Darkest Demigra. So Beyond Darkest Demigra, we all know, is an absolute devastator of a card. Ripping 4 out of your opponent's hand, seeing their entire hand, is one of the most powerful effects this game currently has, even with the introduction of Set 5. Now, there's one of 2 things happen. I drop this card and I win, or I drop this card and I lose. So what happens is a lot of decks nowadays are able to draw out of being Demigrad, as crazy as it sounds. So if I drop Demigrad and I don't have a way to untap energy to be defensive, I lose for the most part. And that's what the World Peace, coupled with a lot of the main deck choices, allows you to do, is allows you to swing with Demigrad. Even if they negate that attack, you still rip 5 cards out of their hand. Then you swing with your leader, and you combo something that untaps energy to the graveyard. It's going to be the Preface Recovery Son Goku or the Explorer Bulma. And then you activate your leader effect to free World Peace. Then you have energy up for defense. That's how you maintain the win. Now, Dimension Magic is also really helpful with that, because you can just take a life instead of having to even have energy up. So if you're at like 6-4 or something like 5 life, you can activate Dimension Magic for free, restand 2 blues, and you still have even more defense, which is really insane. So being able to activate Beyond Darkest Demigra and resolve that card, and then having energy up for defense, is what's going to allow you to really secure the game, because we don't always win the turn we drop Beyond Darkest Demigra. We drop Beyond Darkest Demigra to gain control of the game, and then we clean up with our big bomb cards that I'll get to once we get into like the middle of the deck profile. So that's kind of how that works. That's why I choose to go with World Peace, because it has the most applications over the entire course of the deck, being able to reborn your bigger drops as well. So then we have the 4-dimension magic. Kind of already talked about it. The best negate, I think, to play in this deck, because we're playing a blue leader, we are going to side Nimbus for sure against certain Storm matchups, but even then, Dimension Magic coupled with Sensu Bean is incredibly defensive already, and we do have a couple of 10k combos that help us out a little bit in that scenario where we're untapping 2. I can see potentially adding something like the Unbreakable or the Villainy Cell into this deck for more defensive power, but the ratios need to be tweaked with a bit more before I decide to go that route. For Sensu Bean, playing a blue package, typically you're just going to need it against Storm, and you're going to kind of need it to extend your plays on defense and on offense. 3 objection. This deck is not nearly as extra card heavy as something like the Shenron deck profile was, although I still don't want to really clog on objections. Playing 3 is fine because you actually don't care what turn you objection. For the most part, you can objection on turn 2 or turn 3 and you're going to be totally fine. So you have an extra turn to dig for the objection and hope to see it. So 3 is fine. 4, Northcry Keeping Watch. A lot of Gohan, Wish-Han decks you see are going to be playing the Great Saiyan Man super combo, which I love that super combo. I love the way it looks. I think it looks super cool. But we're constantly going to be warping our graveyard for our win con. So I want to add the super combo that's active at 4 life because it's going to be live more of the time. I ran into too many issues where I would warp my graveyard for Demigra, and then my super combo would just be a 0-10k combo that just was a -1. So I want the super combo that's active at 4 life. 3 quick thinking Go Tanks. This is one of the best mid-game plays in the entire game. In my opinion, with the advent of set 5, I am just so over the top in love with this card. So I want to include it in any deck that's playing blue as much as I can. 2 Preface Recovery Son Goku. This is one of the cards we want to combo away after dropping Demigra. So like Demigra Swing, combo this into it. If the Demigra Swing gets negated, which a lot of times it will, Leader Swing, drop this guy, and then revive him with World Peace for free. So that's kind of what you want to do there, because your graveyard is going to be emptied after you drop Demigra. You get this card to the graveyard or the Explorer Bulma, and then you revive it with World Peace and you're all set to go. I like the Explorer Bulma much better because it draws you a card. That's why I'm only including 2 Preface and 4 Explorer Bulma. It's basically 2 more copies of an Explorer Bulma that does not draw a card. 3 At All Costs Vegeta. Like I said, when you drop Demigra, it's not always going to be the turn you win the game. It's going to be the turn after that is when you clean up and win the game, as long as you can defend yourself on your opponent's next turn. So 3 At All Costs Vegeta coupled with double battering laser is one of the best win cons in the game at the moment. So that's why we're playing that number with the 2 batterings. Then we have the 3 Ultimate Fusion Gogeta. Once again, it's just board clear. It's a +4, which is absolutely insane and can help clean up after a Demigra play. Now we have the yellow package. So like I said, with the Shenron deck profile, the yellow package in this deck is pretty essential because it adds one of the things that this deck desperately needs, and that is the Dragon Ball Seeker Sorbet. If you don't have the access to the Dragon Ball Seeker Sorbet or some other way to get more Dragon Balls quickly, this deck is going to be way too slow. You want to start with as many Sorbets in your hand as possible to turbo through your deck for Dragon Balls, and then wish and flip over. So 4 Sorbet, super duper important. 2 Battering Laser, mentioned it. It goes with At All Costs Vegeta. It basically stops any negate that is going to allow you to go for lethal. 4 Explorer Bulma, talked about it with Preface Recovery Son Goku. You combo it to the drop area, you bring it back off the World Peace. You have energy up to defend against with Demigra, so you can restand your blues for your Dimension Magics, for your Sensu Beans, and things like that. Really good card. Excellent in almost every single Wish deck I've been testing so far. 2 Source Power Son Goku. There's not as much utility to this card in this deck as there is in the Shenron build, because there's not really a way in this deck to give it triple strike. I can see playing the Wish Granter in this deck, but at the same time I can't, because you're not really relying on getting things to drop area early, because anything you get to drop area early is going to be wished overwhelmed away by Beyond Darkest Demigra. So Source Power Son Goku is there to put on additional pressure. Certain decks that want to take it slow, you can put big pressure on them. You can take life, so it helps you get down to 4 life with your super combo, so that can be live. So just some general applications there. The typical curve of the deck, you want to be grabbing Dragon Balls with your leader. You want to be grabbing Dragon Balls with Sorbets. If you open 4 Sorbets, keep 4 Sorbets, charge 1, play the first, second, third on the consecutive turns. It's just that important to flip over and wish as fast as possible. So turns 2 and 3, you want to focus on being able to resolve objections so you can get to 5 energy as soon as possible. At that point, if you're wished and flipped over, you drop Beyond Darkest Demigra. If you can afford to drop Beyond Darkest Demigra at 6 and not be tapped out, that is very advisable. But if you do have the clear play in your hand to drop a Preface or Explorer Bulma to the drop area, bring it back off World Peace, and then untap to have energy for defense, that is very preferable. And if you're able to meet those conditions, you basically have gained complete control of the game at that point. And there's not a real huge way your opponent can kind of come back from that. You can even do a weirder play where you get At All Costs to the graveyard and bring it back off a World Peace. That'll even untap 1 energy and draw a card. So you have a lot of ways to get energy back up on defense. So if you can protect that Demigra, if you can protect your life after dropping a Demigra, you are going to take complete control of the game, and you are most likely going to win that game. So guys, once again, thank you so much for watching. we're definitely going to get you guys some gameplay of this deck up on the channel as soon as possible, so be sure to check that out once it gets dropped. Thank you so much for watching again. My name is Joey. This is Crossroads TCG. I'm going to drop our Discord server link down in the description below. We talk about everything Dragon Ball Super related there. Definitely check that out and join that. Thanks again so much for watching. My name is Joey. I'll see you next time.